No, completely.
Like you said,
we
Sonya, this is bullshit. I know she needs to get the justice for this, but we as a nation need the justice for this. And it's unfortunately, it's not going to come from that. Of course, they're going to tell us he gets consequences, but come on.
Welcome to another episode at the Blunt Lab. I am Al, joined by my brothers Marcus and Rick. What's going on, fellas?
What up? Gentlemen, welcome everyone to the party.
Yes, sir. Well, we're going to jump right into it. Start with the heavy stuff first. It's been all over the news. I hate to say here we go again because that would be kind of dismissive. But here we go with the bullshit again. Roll tape on the first clip.
She grabs the silver pot with red and white cooking mittens.
You can see both hands in the air. She's ducked into the ground, and she gets shot right in the face. There is another video. Play the second one. This is after the shooting.
Yeah, I'm good. This fucking bitch is crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. Inside with me. He's good. That's fine. I didn't know. No, dude, it was good. It fucking happened so goddamn quick that we didn't have time to fucking call shit out. There was me and that's all. I was trying to figure out. No, we're good. I think she set it up on purpose. So, this is what it is.
Try not to move that bag. We'll take her out on a backboard so we don't move that.
And this video's kind of choppy.
Yeah, he's good, dude. I made sure he was good. Yeah, he was here for the whole thing. No. We barely got missed. I'm gonna chill in my car. I'm gonna chill in my car for a minute. Okay.
Well, essentially when he's asked what happened, he lies about it. Saying that she threw boiling water at him. You can stop this one. Go ahead and start the third clip. This piece of shit.
Update to the Sonya Massey case. Brenda Butterfield is Sean Grayson's grandmother-in-law, as in his fiance's grandma, and she just released this article stating what she wanted to say to the public. Let me tell you what she said. First, to the protesters, what are you protesting? Sean is in jail, charges are filed, trial date to be set, and punishment to be applied. Sean is not going anywhere, so please knock off wearing out your sweat glands. So please take your signs and go home and just be humans, not the amusement or disgust to the public. Point number 2, does anyone care about Sean's family or what horrifying reality they are dealing with? What about his fiancée he was to marry in October? She is an innocent young woman who also is unfairly being persecuted. Does anyone care about the destruction of her life? She is left to deal with an emotional death. Sean's future-in-law families, a to-be father-in-law who is as close to Sean as a father can be, a future mother-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law who is Sean's friend, future grandparents who love Sean dearly and still do. Shock, disbelief in reality, but an undying support for Sean. The past cannot be relived, the future is unknown. We only have each day to pray without ceasing. The Sean everyone desires to hate and persecute is not the Sean we all have known and loved. We will always support Sean. Judge not, lest ye be judged. No man or woman is without sin. There is a final judgment for all. Proud grandmother-to-be of Sean Grayson. Her privilege is so clear from this post. Not once did she mention Sonya Massey's name. Not once did she acknowledge that the reason why we are protesting is because police officers like your grandson are doing this stuff every single day. Yeah. They'll turn off their body camera footage, they'll hide it, they'll say it's self-inflicted, they'll do anything but take accountability for what they did. That is part of the problem. And the audacity to try to paint Grayson as the victim. What about Sonya Massey? What about her children whose mother was taken at the hands of your grandson? What about the fact that police officers were trying to cover this up, trying to say that this was self-inflicted? And frankly, she should be grateful that this all came out before her granddaughter had an opportunity to marry Grayson. She also quotes the Bible and mentions that we should not judge others. And to that I want to say we are not called to condemn people. What we can do is know what is good and what is evil, and what Grayson did that day to Sonya Massey was pure evil. My prayers are still with Sonya Massey's family, and may she rest in peace.
Yep, may she rest in peace. That piece of shit has been in trouble at least 5 or 6 times before.
6 times in
Essentially
the last
just
6
been,
months or so.
has been transferred out. It's basically what they do. Once a cop fucks up like this, they'll fire or discharge him from that particular department, but he'll be hired on somewhere else real fast. Probably in Florida. DeSantis loves cops like this.
Fucking now.
So more than likely, he'll probably move down to Florida and start shooting some of you black boys and brown boys down in Florida as soon as he gets all this wrapped up. There are pieces of shit online talking about how Sonya threw boiling water at this cop. When clearly in the slow motion video, you see she puts both hands up and starts ducking. You read the autopsy report, the bullet goes in right under her eye. That was the kill shot. And you hear this piece of shit talking about, oh, the stupid bitch was crazy. She knew he was an evil piece of shit because she was like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So she saw something in his ass. And apparently they had interacted earlier that day as well, if you dig deep. So I'm not sure if this motherfucker was planning to kill her. But I hope that piece of shit gets everything he deserves. Everything he deserves. And for his future mother-in-law, if that's still going to happen, what a cankerous cunt to fucking say the shit that she said.
Yeah, that's the weird part to me, because the stuff with him, like you just pointed out, they, as you dig in, you're going to find that they had altercation earlier during the day. Was he coming to kill her? It looks more and more like that. Even it was.
I forget
the cops to cover up for him.
Mm-hmm. I forget what the interaction was earlier that day, but literally when she called 911, he was the first one there. It's as if he hadn't left her. He hadn't left her area, and he might have been the one fucking sneaking around, scaring her.
Oh no, he knew. He knew that was going down. There's more to this that I prayed to everything holy comes out.
Yeah, she had a young cousin. I think he was like 5 or 6 years old. Not too long ago, was recently killed by the cops as well. So
I think she knew some.
She
knew some shit. Something was going on, and that's what I'm getting at. This is deeper. This is deeper.
And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but there's a female. I feel terrible not remembering her name, but she looks just like Sonya Massey. But she was also killed by the cops. But I'm telling you, they are identical. I forget her name, but the face, identical to Sonya's.
Yeah,
killed by the cop.
She's a little bit darker complexion, but otherwise looks just like her. I know what you're talking about. I've seen the post. Yeah, I feel
terrible that I can't remember her name, but you know, my prayers are with her family as well. This shit right here. Nothing anyone says, nothing anyone does is ever going to change this kind of shit. This shit's just going to keep going on and on and on. I mean, I guess, what can you recommend? Taking the badges and guns away from every white cop? Making it so that no white cop can be a cop?
I mean, it happens across the board, though, Al. It happens across the board. We've seen heinous crimes done by cops of all color and all creed. So it's a cop.
It's being done more because apparently white cops seem to think that it's still the old days where their jobs were to wrangle up slaves. That's not. You know, I mean, granted, you had maybe a year ago those 4 black cops who had killed that one black kid because it was over a chick. And then when you look into that story, those cops weren't even cops. The year prior to that, their boss or their lieutenant or whatever the fuck that bitch's name was, she was fired from a different department and was transferred over. So that story, I mean, when you look at the majority of these stories, it's always white cops fucking with somebody of color.
You know, these stories, always. And I hate being on this side of this part of the side of the conversation, but it happens across the nation and the world daily. And it's not just that particular white on black, because that white on black does happen. And that's something that's got to get nipped in the bud one way or the other. but it's really a cop thing across the board. They have a little bit too much liberality. Take it from someone who, like, I don't sit and stare at my phone very much, but when I am watching TikToks and Reels, the majority of what I'm watching is body cam footage. Like, it's in my algorithm. Maybe it's because we talk about it, or it's a peak of my interest or whatnot, because I want to get to the root of a lot of this. I watch body cam footage, and you're absolutely correct. There's some heinous shit that happens based on, like, racial profiling. Let's use that terminology, okay? It happens. But I see so much, too, from cops of all races. And it doesn't fucking matter who they're investing with. Yes, the majority of it is black males in the inner cities. They're the ones who catch the biggest heat from the cops in general. And I know some good cops out there, but the majority of the cops that I've even personally interacted with are just, for lack of better terminology, just terrible human beings. Like, they're out here interacting with people, acting like there's some superior fucking force whose job is to enact laws against you, me, and everyone else, but they use their judgment based on getting picked on when they were in fucking school, or because they couldn't get fucking pussy when they were growing up. And so now they feel like, oh, I got to take it out on you because of it. It's fucking sick. But I see it across the board. And you're right, though. There is a lot of white privileged motherfuckers who might as well be walking around with a white dunce cap on, calling themselves part of the fucking Klan because of the way that they treat people in certain areas of the fucking state. No denying it.
And amongst that camera, amongst that body cam footage, you hear these white cops talking about how I can't wait to take these N-words out and for this race war to start. These are white cops in North Carolina, South Carolina, some even up here up north. Now, in New York, I will say that there is a diversity with the cops fucking with people. Because, you have, Hispanics, blacks, or what have you. But for the most part, I've had cops tell me, whether they're current cops or former cops, they're specifically instructed not to fuck with white people, Jews, and Asians, that everybody else is fair game. What does that leave when you take that out? Blacks and Hispanics for the most part. Some of these cops, when they're being trained at the shooting range, especially in the South, the targets that they're using, if it's a person on that target, that person is black.
Typically, you're absolutely correct.
It's being ingrained in them that they're a threat to you. Now, you see how Sonya Massey had her hands up and literally was giving up, crouching down. She got shot. Not too long before that, you had that airman, that former military dude who got shot in his own house. Not doing anything. I'm going to play this clip right here just to show you that these white cops don't have to shoot motherfuckers if they don't want to. This is like the third video I've seen of something like this. Go ahead and roll to the last video, babe. This is a white dude being aggressive to a cop. Now, if this was a black guy doing this exact same thing,
lets him flee,
that white cop would have emptied his fucking clip into him. Watch this clip. You see that cop running away? You see him running away?
Of course.
Because they're told, don't kill your white brother.
Now that is something I 100% can back up. And body cam footage, you see it all the time. I've seen video of white dudes armed, right,
rolling up on cops, and these cops are backing up, walking away. Go ahead, you can cut that. I don't need to hear what he has to say. But literally, if that motherfucker was black or Latino, his ass would have got shot.
I'm not gonna lie. When we watch our clips here, one of the things I say the most is, well, if he'd have been black, he'd be fucked now. Like, I say that all of the time. So that part of it, I 100% back up. But I think it's cops across the board. It's just all about the area where you're at. So like when you watch those Texas videos, so if you watch like New Mexico, Texas, the stuff along the border, there is a lot more, let's call it minority police officers. You're going to find a lot more Hispanic, a lot more Black, and they still act the same way. They think they're fucking Rangers. They think they're fucking Chuck Norris on a goddamn horse because they pulled you over in the car. And then as soon as you start even remotely, like, this is the problem. A lot of Black men I see in these videos, they starting to know their rights. They're starting to be able to not only know them and act to that, but they can speak it to them. Like, I've seen so many videos where there's a Black man who happens to be recording a pullover, a stop, and he's looking at the cop and he starts saying different things to the cop and pulling statutes out and pulling out examples and cases, et cetera, and the cops almost get dumb. They don't know how to react. They get fucking stupid. But worst off is you'll see somebody who might be white or somebody who might be less threatening than a bigger Black man, right, get pulled over or be in a situation where they're like committing a crime and the cop is now, what do you call it? Like, they're interacting with them, whatever the case may be, whether they were stealing something, they broke out of the house, robbed the place, shot somebody, killed their own fucking kids, got a dead body in the fucking car, and they're all nice and calm. Let's go get you fucking Burger King, blah, 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 versus where I see it and say it all the time. If that had been my brother Al or my brother Marcus, that I know it wouldn't have gone down like that.
No, absolutely not. We wouldn't have made it home. We certainly wouldn't have made it home. No, you know. Now, Marcus, how do you feel? What are your feelings on this? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know, man. This one kind of got to me a little bit more than the ones that have been happening lately. It's just, I don't know. I don't have a solution for it. It's just status quo at this point, you know. And it's not like I'm like numb to it, but at the same time, I'm not shocked by any of this stuff that I see, you know.
Now, did you notice how every election year there happens to be something like this that happens? Trayvon Martin, election year.
Now you're thinking.
This is an election year. George Floyd was an election year. When you look at things like this, and when you look at the Black elites, I don't know what their time frame is, but they always have to make an example out of an important Black person or your regular Black folks, just to let them know, you motherfuckers ain't shit and will never be shit. And like Marcus said, you know, we don't know what the solution is. And for those that know me, I mean, if I'm going to recommend a solution, at this point, the only thing would be violence. And no one wants that. Even me saying that, I wouldn't want that. But what else is there?
I mean, to be fair, bro, there's not enough unity within the Black community to even fathom something like that.
No, absolutely not.
As separated as we are, that would just leave us as completely fair game. That would be innocent people are being looked at. I mean, granted, Sonya was innocent as well, but you know what I'm saying. That would just be fair game at that point.
Think about the Black Lives Matter movement. All right, Marcus, as I interject this, right? The Black Lives Matter music, right? There's an element to that is exactly what is needed. The other element to it is there's a good chance it was actually started by the Black Lives opposition. It was designed and put in place to derive this sort of, it's the bad guy. Because now you're getting emphasized when, like, to the point of, if you get violent now, it makes you the bad guy. If you go out and you loot businesses and set them on fire because out of protest, you're the bad guy. Even if you look at the background, it's some white dude who's over there actually setting the fire because it's part of the program. And to the point of, I think part of the solution comes into what police officers have in terms of rights themselves. If it gets to if we get to a point as the people and we stand up against the police officers being able to have this much power, all right, over people and that much choice. Yeah, okay, so they're going to say this dude has consequences for killing Sonya. It's got to be worse than that. He needs to be the example. And until that stuff starts happening, there's not a lot we can do, because you can't oppose a cop when he pulls you over. You see what happens. Like this, you can't get violent. What are you going to do? Protest? They're going to send a quarter of the fucking police from that particular area where the protests are happening. It's impossible. You know what I mean? So I get it. It's got to be frustrating as fuck, because it's frustrating for me, and I'm not even in those shoes. And I think it starts with police. Police have to be ripped of some sort of power, and it's not happening anytime soon. Because like you said,
I know folks knew that Black Lives Matter, that movement was a sham anyway, because
right,
the amount of money they collected, not 1 cent was sent to any black community, any black school, was used to help any black person. So
that's not what it was for, bro.
Mm-hmm. And because of what folks can do today, a lot of those folks protesting, claiming to be black, could be a white dude wearing a black mask. That shit is possible. That shit can be done. I've seen those videos. They look extremely realistic. So, sometimes what you see really, really could be used to fuck with you. So, you just got to be careful with that kind of shit. And, PSA to like any black person or Hispanic or Latino, we include everybody. Put cameras in your homes, all around your property, inside in the main areas, in your cars. Protect yourselves. Because as you can see, that white piece of shit was lying his ass off the second his boys were asking him this up. And if you can see in the video, a lot of his colleagues barely could look that motherfucker in the face.
They knew what was up.
Yeah.
They sent him outside. They knew what was up.
Yeah, they knew he was a piece of shit. Because his partner kept his body cam on, got everything on video. He heard everything the motherfucker said.
It's like, bro, she literally put her hands up and started ducking, man.
She called you for help. Bro. She called you for help. You know what I'm saying? She called you for help. Regardless of what she might have had going on, she was of no threat. I think they said she was 100? She was 112 pounds.
Oh, you fucking
and to add to you guys' point earlier, as far as like the race being involved, like y'all remember the Buffalo shooting, right? The supermarket shooting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, they would have obliterated this man if he was black.
Not a scratch on that motherfucker when he picked him up. Not one scratch.
I'm surprised that the Trump assassination guy, I'm surprised he got killed. I'm surprised they didn't just like go and talk to him. Like, hey man, what's wrong? What are you doing?
He got killed because he was a loose end.
No, he got killed. Yeah, exactly. Loose end. He probably's not even the one who delivered the shot that hit him.
He was a loose end. You know what I'm
but
saying?
You know what I'm saying, right? They would have went to the room and be like, hey, bro, what's wrong?
No, if they would have been Marcus, to your point, had it been a legit assassination attempt by that white boy, he wouldn't have got killed. I'm going to say
we had to get the root.
We had to get
to the root to the issue. Like, what's wrong, man?
That's
like,
how you know some shit, because they killed him. They would have taken the Burger King, dog, and then...
For real. Shit, why did take him back to a state dinner?
You need to go to the hospital, not prison. We're sorry. You need to go talk to somebody.
Yeah, something's wrong. He's sick. Something happening. Like, what the fuck?
But yeah, I don't want to make light of the situation. You're absolutely correct.
No, completely.
Like you said, Sonya, this is bullshit. I know she needs to get the justice for this, but we as a nation need the justice for this. And it's unfortunately, it's not going to come from that. Of course, they're going to tell us he gets consequences, but come on.
I'm just going to say this, I just want to shout out to my brothers and sisters who were a part of the gang, and you are a person, whether you're black or Latino. These motherfuckers are killing us, man. We need help. You guys literally can help us. And in the end, we can turn around and help you in some kind of way. Like they're not going to stop killing us. So we need help.
And like Rick said, there's good cops out there, but it's moments like this where they need to separate themselves. Like they need to completely separate themselves.
I'm glad you said that, because not only do they need to separate themselves, you
need
need
to call that shit out.
You need to put those motherfuckers on blast.
Yes,
exactly. If you want us to have faith in you, you need to put these motherfuckers on blast.
Exactly.
Or frustrate.
Moments like this is when y'all need to step up.
That's where the solution comes from.
That's why I said, maybe we should just take their badges away from all of them, meaning the white ones, because you're not doing enough. The ones that are good, that aren't racist, you're not doing enough. If I'm going to be bold enough to say, you're not doing shit. You're not doing shit. Because when white people are amongst one another, they're very loose at the mouth. Very loose at the mouth. I've been told this by my white brothers and sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
I know.
So you know who that filthy fucking racist is. You know who he or she is. Put them on fucking Front Street.
Yeah.
You see,
it's
Florida,
become too common, man.
I love Florida
too common.
Because a lot of the dumbasses will let you know that they're a dumbass. Please, fly your rebel flag. I want you to fly your rebel flag. I want you to post it up in your front yard, so I know. The ones I worry about are the ones who keep that shit secret.
Fair enough.
All these motherfuckers need to be put on Front Street. And to the white brothers and sisters that aren't racist, you know who the racist ones are. Put them on blast.
Yeah.
Put them on blast. And to my brothers and sisters in the gangs, please, we need your help. Because apparently the cops aren't trying to help us. Let's find a way to...
That's the craziest part. I'm sorry to cut you off. That's the craziest part. That she called the police for help. And they're the ones that take her life. So I get it. Some situations where they just kill us just because, I get it. Now we can't even call for fucking help because you motherfuckers are coming to kill us now. What happens at that point? What are you supposed to do? Well, I don't know, man. That shit broke my heart, bro. That video. I watched the one when it first happened. They released it, that 6 or 7 cuts of it.
Yeah, done it.
I'm like, man, this is bogus, bro.
And every angle of it, you see her putting those hands up.
Yeah.
At least the partner kept the body cam on.
Yeah.
I hope
this fucker talking to his lieutenant, talking about, oh, this bitch was crazy, and she threw water on me. Wouldn't there be evidence of any of these things that happened? Wouldn't your body cam show it?
Oh, let me see your bulletproof vest where it fucking penetrated it, you fucking piece of shit.
And I'm like, bro, what is boiling water? I mean, I know it's not going to feel good, but you don't have to shoot her in the fucking face.
It's not fatal.
Nah, you could have
she was I don't know if you guys heard
this. Billy clubbed her ass if you really felt froggy.
He refused. He refused to render aid.
Yeah. Yeah,
one of the videos.
Give her the CPR.
There's video where you can hear her, because of where she was shot, you can hear her trying to breathe. So there's that gurgling thing going on. So, again, shouting out to my brothers and sisters in the gangs. I know you guys have connections in prisons. I don't know where this motherfucker's at. But I mean,
Oh, he'll get protected.
We've all seen him. We've seen American History X. I mean, it's possible.
No, he's going to get protected. He's going to get protected.
Fuck, man. I mean,
what's the fucking point? That was a good point. If you get protected. But I'm also that guy who's like, yeah, if you're a fucking rapist and you go to prison, you need to go to the prison where all the fucking rapists are and let them rape you. If you're a fucking, you know what I mean? If you're a murderer, you go to the fucking prison where all the murderers are. And, this is one of those scenarios. You need to go into a prison where you're surrounded by nothing but black men and women.
Stone cold murderers.
Fucking white face again and see what it's like, dog. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Y'all made a good point about the election year thing, too, the correlation with something this major happening during an election season. Yeah, it's not lost upon me. I don't know what obviously the connection. I don't know what the the purpose of it is, or like what the agenda is behind it. But there's definitely something there. Every cycle, there seems to be, you know, an example made in the Black community.
It distracts you. So the point now is you're going to get, like I'm going to speak broadly, right? It's going to make a large population, the Black population, start to be focused on this situation and not focused on the election and the implications that are going to happen in this one. And I mean, who do you think is going to get fucking voted for? The Black woman or Donald Trump? If all the Black voters are just pissed off and more focused on fucking with cops.
And like, you know, Marcus, when you think about a lot of these Black massacres that took place, a lot of those massacres took place to keep Black people from voting.
Correct.
That's especially the Ocoee massacre.
That's why I always vote, even if I don't believe in my candidate per se. Hey, my first election was 04. And I was like, I'm a vote.
Man.
I gotta vote.
It's all to go vote for Obama. It's all cell game.
Oh,
like the way that we fix that shit is we go and I mean like this might get me canceled a little bit. We have to go and shut down voting polls when it's one of those voting days. We in large mass have to shut those down until the government does what they're supposed to do for the people, whatever that thing may be. The atrocities we're talking about now, what our tax scenarios are, and where our money is going that we give to the government to take care of us, right? So all of those things, until we tar and feather our politicians and tell them, hell no, fuck you and your fucking T-tax. Until we do that, we're all kind of fucked. They're going to dictate us with this shit. They're going to get enough people moving in the right direction that makes the rest of us not be able to accomplish the needed goals.
And you know, to segue, go ahead, Marcus.
I'm sorry. And to be fair, like that's a part of the fabric of this country too, though. You know, to your point, Rick, like as much as slavery is a part of this, like the laws and the amendments were made in case of this kind of shit, you know? So, and I don't know, man, like we're so divided as it is, it doesn't really matter. But if there was a moment where we could unite, we could cause a change because they'd have to, you know, like they'd have to change. They'd have to make laws and do things that would actually benefit the people and not just their, you know,
like look what the government
agendas.
Did. Look what the government did for the Asians when they were being attacked.
Yeah, that quick, right?
How quickly they did that for the Asians. You mean to tell me there's nothing you can do for Black people?
Bro, at the very least, just leave us the fuck alone. Like, just stop killing us.
Because we've
just
proven,
make it fair.
Black people have proven in the past, up until now, that they don't need them. And as much as they hate us, why do you keep fucking with us? Why do you care what we do?
Just let it be fair and even. And, like, you don't have to give us shit. Just let us live.
Like, all those places that we had when we were showing them that we didn't need them, what did they do?
Burn them down.
In the night. Rolling through there, burning folks, shooting folks.
It's fucking terrible, man.
And what have we done? We've never chose violence. We go out of our, you know, they go out of their way to, I mean, because if we did, I mean, shit.
Fear.
Yeah.
Fear of whatever you want to call it. Fear.
Well, yeah.
That's why I know a motherfucker like me would have been hung back in the slave days real quick.
Me too.
Because man, there's not going to be this many of us on this fucking plantation, and this kind of shit is going down.
That's why. What is it?
No.
Django that he says, sand. I ain't got no time for you if you got sand. And I'm obviously not saying the words here all the way, right? But
you got sand, Django. Boys got sand. I got no use for a nigger with sand.
Those are the ones that cause the uprisings. And same thing with me. I learned it real big. I went and lived in the Carolinas for 6 years. My son and his Black wife still live there. You know what I mean? Like, I went to the Carolinas and they did not like me because I was too, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, It seems like up there, the majority of everyone you talk to, 90% of the people you talk to, if they're white, they're descendants of slave owners. If they're black, they're descendants of slaves. So it's completely different than what I know down here. Up there,
and it's in the mindset.
Fear white people in a different way than it is down here. And that's what it's deep-seated from that. And so the white people there didn't like me because why? I had friends who were black, or I'd sit down at lunch with one of my boys and we'd chop it up and smoke a L and da-da-da-da-da-da. And whoa, bro, you're too loose for me. You're too liberal for me. You know what I mean? Like, so I get it. I see it. It exists. It's real.
See, me, it's like Marcus said, I came out the womb choosing violence.
That's a mindset.
There's no fucking way.
Like in the South and the Carolinas especially, like you know, my family's
Alabama,
from there.
Mississippi, the Carolinas.
That's a mindset.
Yep.
Georgia.
Like, I'm thankful I'm not from that. Like I didn't grow up thinking that I'm below or less than anything or anybody. I didn't grow up with that. But my folks and their family, they definitely had that kind of shit.
Oh yeah,
and that was definitely instilled in them. I mean, they broke away, but that is. Rick, you're 100% correct. That is a complete fucking mindset in those areas.
Hey, so
that fear is.
So rest in peace, Sonya. Our prayers are with your family. And to segue, people here need to learn how to protest the way the filthy French like to protest.
Very, very, very.
They just like to shit everywhere.
Well, dog, all the forefathers knew how to do it. That's why they came here, bro. That's why they came here. Just got to go back to that.
I don't know. Like, I took the time, which was a waste, to watch the opening ceremony because my wife wanted to see all the different clothes that the different nations were wearing on the boats. Now,
there's something to that.
I don't want to disrespect anybody's colors. We all know how I feel about French-speaking Canadians. We know how I feel about the Chinese communists, right?
Sure.
So they shared a boat. And the Chinese and the Canadians share the same color as a nation, which is red. So the aerial view you get of this boat, there was a nation in the middle, but they were just swallowed up by Canada and China. I can't even remember who they were. I'm sorry. But when you look at the aerial view of this boat, I can't help but think how it just looked like a floating, bloody tampon.
I knew you were going to say it, dude.
No disrespect, but when you just look down, it just looked like a bloody tampon just floating down the shitty river. Now, as an athlete, you're not going to get me on no fucking boat. And there were some nations that they literally just put in a canoe because there was 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, only 5 of them. Right. Yeah.
So that shitty water is splashing on you. Ugh. Fuck you. Your filthy fucking people have shit in this fucking river or canal, whatever the fuck it is. But they essentially turned it into a toilet bowl.
Did y'all watch the opening ceremony? I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
I was watching.
I watched Snoop carry the torch.
I didn't watch it live. I watched it in the morning.
But I heard
through some stuff.
But no, the reason I bring it up is because I was talking to my girl about it, and I guess a lot of people were posting how it felt and looked demonic.
It always had.
And some of the that's what I'm saying. The ritualisticness of it, and I felt that's always been a thing.
I'm going to say this.
It felt really blatant this cycle.
I am not going to attack a particular people because I know how Marcus and my wife like to edit me. But
for your safety, bro.
It's out of love.
It's out of love. It's all love.
Doing this for your own good.
Now, again, if whatever life you want to live, as long as you're not hurting anybody, again, I don't care. No matter how I sound, I don't care what you do. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say about. There was a lot of cross-dressed mocking of God, if you will, in certain scenes.
Yes, that one looked like the Last Supper, and it looked like It looked like a mockery, and it looked like a celebration. I was like, and that was the only one. That was the only part that I saw because I think I was like in and out, like watching it. And I was watching, like I said, I was watching SmackDown, but I guess I saw that scene.
You would be watching SmackDown.
You know,
that's
it was ass, but that's beside the point. But it looked weird though, like that scene. It looked like a mockery, and I was like, damn, they're not even like hiding it at this point.
It assured
they never did. They never did. Wow. They never. You know, this probably has nothing to do with anything, but there's even because like Celine Dion was promoting her clothing line, and if you look at, I don't know if it was a commercial or a video, but she essentially looks like a witch, not a good witch, if you will. And she's and there's children in the video, and she's like blowing this kind of dust, man. And all the children become genderless, which is promoting her clothing line. But again, the commercial looked mocking of a lot of things. But then again, look what's happening to her in real life. God don't like ugly.
No.
Let me just say that. We've played videos here where people have mocked God, like in Brazil, and they were mocking God, and they had that parade. What did God do? Sent the flood. Facts. And I think the person that was mocking God during that parade died.
That's what I mean, bro. It's like, I don't know, man.
And I'm laughing at the clips on TikTok because they're like, oh, did LeBron James just transform on camera? Like, look, man, I like to fuck with those things as much as the next guy. A camera angle is a camera angle. There was probably a glitch. This nigga did not shapeshift in front of our eyes. I was watching the shit live. I'm going to tell you, that shit didn't happen, okay? Is LeBron James on steroids? Is he possibly a clone or a robot? Maybe. We can have that discussion later. But he is not a fucking shapeshifter. He did not shapeshift live on TV, okay? That didn't happen to those dumbasses who think it did.
But Al, that's the kind of stuff that they put out there to make people doubt it altogether. Because that's why they put out the hokey movies and shows at those time periods. That's why Spielberg was tasked with introducing us to aliens, and Cameron introduced us to aliens back in the late 70s, early 80s, because it makes us go, oh, that shit can't be real. Oh my God, they're out here saying that LeBron James shape-shifted. So now, anytime that you hear some shit like that, that's immediately what your brain is going to associate that to. But there was definitely 100%, to your point, Marcus, as usual, because the Olympics is the original, like, that's the original football. You know what I mean? Like, the Coliseum, its job is to distract us from what the devil is doing. So there is clear indicators there that the devil is at work, and it's making a mockery of so much stuff and being very blatant. I mean, like we talk about the sign with Rihanna at Super Bowl and all the different shit that happens all the time with these people. This was a very clear indication of that. It was clear.
Oh, yeah, Marcus, everything that you see them do, a ceremony, all that is ritualistic. All that is, all those rituals.
Aren't the Olympic rings, isn't there something to that too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. All of it means something. All of it is ritualistic. All of it is some kind of shit you want to get past.
Like, as I was like walking by and I saw that picture, and I was like, that reminds me of it looks like the Last Supper, but it looks like
they did that
like a mockery of it though. Yeah, it looked like they were like poking fun at it to a degree. You know what I mean?
They definitely did.
That didn't feel good in my spirit. I was like, no, I don't want no part of that. Nope.
I mean, the Olympics themselves, the Olympics were designed and created to celebrate the gods, not God, the gods. And the first thing, if you're talking about a Christian God that the Christian Bible talks about, is you can put no other gods above me. Well, people mistake that. A lot of times that gets interpreted as there's only one God. That's not what that statement is saying. That statement said, put no other God above me. So there are other gods. Yeah. And that's what the Olympic ceremonies are. They're tributes to gods that the Christian world will deny. So it's very satanic. If you're seated in judo Christianity, which obviously all three of us have been, and that's where we came from, right? Everything about the Olympics is a blasphemy. If you are a Bible and God-fearing man. So definitely, it is a ceremony of and shit.
You guys are right. It has always been that way. I think maybe I just wasn't like
you're seeing it better,
aware. Yeah.
You have read
exactly
good, as we would call it. You've been on the show too long now with us, and we say shit like this.
It's sinking in. He's gonna believe that DeMar Hamlin's a clone. He's gonna believe it. He's gonna believe it.
I think there probably are clones out there. I don't know. I mean, maybe,
definitely,
maybe. You know what? Maybe
they proved it to us with Dolly,
especially
when they cloned Dolly. They were doing that. That whole situation was put out there to tell you, look, this is what we're doing, dog.
Yeah, and you're right too, because like having a fucking player die on the field, like that's not good for business.
That would kill the NFL. That would lost the NFL wins, possibly a whole season, dude.
That would hurt bad. So
because I mean, parents have witnessed players get paralyzed on a football field, but still allow their children to play. But if they die,
people have died. Like guys have died in practice, like that guy on the Vikings a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that was like a heat thing. Though.
Since the jab,
we never seen somebody die from getting hit though. Yeah, we never seen a guy get hit and die from it. Like that. Yeah. That would be jarring as fuck. But I mean,
we got about 15
we
minutes.
might have seen it.
But I want to congratulate the USA men's team basketball for what they did today. KD was on fire. LeBron James was killing it. Like I found myself cheering for LeBron James as if I was a LeBron James fan. The shit he was doing out there, bro.
But
I was like, go ahead, nigga.
They're running the offense through him, though. So in all fairness, he looked great.
That particular unit, because you know they have that second unit on the bench that they're going to be running through.
Hey, but, can I say something real quick?
What
I wish Matt was here, so
I do,
because I know what I've said him. So LeBron at 40, 39, having to carry Team USA, I feel like it's an indictment on his era of basketball. Because why should his own ass have to carry this Team USA? That means the guys in his era ain't that good. That means it takes him down. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that's what it is.
And I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue. And I'm not going to argue.
That could be a thing, right? It could be a thing. Like, I don't know. It just feels like, why should he have to carry this team? If they're so great, this era is so great. So many great players.
Does it make me the asshole to point out again, though? It's just basketball has become a worldwide sport now. So the other countries are a lot better at it now.
No, that's true. That's true.
I mean, look how disrespectful Gilbert Arenas was to the South Sudan team.
Got the males almost lost to some Africans. Yeah, we almost lost to them. And the king had to save. The king had to save us. I know the LeBron haters are mad. We almost lost to the Ahi tribe.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
You know, I'm a Gilbert Arenas fan. Like, come on, dog. Come on, man.
Yeah. There's some other games that have USA in them that are actually going to be really good. Try to watch as many of the basketball games as you can, even if they're replays, because you're going to see some of those other countries playing each other and being like, oh, I kind of like this too. Because, let's just be real. American basketball has become sort of a highlight reel based sport. The idea is to wow the fans and dazzle the fans. But if you watch some of these other countries and other guys play, it does become a little more skill set. So it's kind of like watching the WNBA, but they're better.
Watch the WNBA because those girls, those girls are balling. Those girls are balling. But last night, moving on from the Olympics, because there's plenty more to talk about with the Olympics, but we'll get back to that. UFC. UFC 304.
Yeah.
Dude.
Maddie.
Before getting into that fight, the first couple of fights, they were, even though RoboCop kicked some ass.
He did, though, didn't he?
Yeah, RoboCop kicked some ass. He literally was the underdog in that fight. So anyone who bet on RoboCop last night, I'm assuming made some money. Arnold Allen did his thing, which was the first fight of the night. But fuck, Paddy the Baddy and King Green. I like both fighters. I'm just going to say that already. King Green's been in the game for a hot minute. For King Green to get uncomfortable on the feet as fast as he did to shoot in and make that mistake. Dude, people were expecting Paddy to get beat up a little bit. And Paddy put this motherfucker to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
What's this?
Like, not only did he put him to sleep, he put him to sleep and says, you know what? That's not enough. I'm going to put you in an armbar. He put him in it. My man was asleep. He couldn't tap out. The ref had to dive in there to save King Green from suffering a broke. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, but
Paddy looked better last night than I've ever seen him. And yeah, you can say that about fighters all the time. They get better, but just his shape. I know he had to lose a little weight for this fight, and just his focus, bro. Like he looked something different last night.
Yeah, he hasn't fought in a while, so he's been doing his thing, training.
Yeah,
and man, like
I'm a fan of his stuff. I've
always been a fan of his, and King Green as well.
Yeah,
I expected a bit of a scrap. Like this one, I couldn't call it. I would have been happy either way. But dude, the way he made that look so easy, and that's no discredit to Green. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then the co-main event, our interim heavyweight champ.
Wow.
Whoa. Now,
wow.
I hate to move past it like that, but I don't think the John Jones and Stipe fight should happen because I think Stipe is just going to get annihilated. I would prefer to see John Jones and Aspinall. Now, that's not saying that Aspinall would win, because I have to openly admit that if we're going to say someone is the GOAT in MMA, it has to be John Jones, because he literally is undefeated.
I would say he's cleaned out the fighting. He's the best fighter right now, by far. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily make him the GOAT.
Aspinall gives him way better obstacle. At this point. Maybe Stipe 5 years ago.
Yeah, he needs some more over-the-top wins.
But what John Jones has done in the game, from light heavyweight to heavyweight, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I don't really see anybody beat him. And if this fight happens, I know Aspinall thinks, and it's going to be a great fight if it happens.
There's nobody getting promoted better than John right now, though. Nobody.
You know what I think? To be fair, I think that they should, I think they should strip John of the heavyweight title, or at the very least, Aspinall shouldn't be an interim at this point. Like, he should be the heavyweight champion, because the Stipe and John Jones fight doesn't need a belt attached to it. It's a legacy fight. And then, like, if that does happen, then Jones, Aspinall, if that's what he wants to do, or maybe fight Stipe and he wants to retire. Like, I don't know. I like that fight. As far as just as a fan, like, I think it would be more like, highlight worthy. But at the same time, like, if John Jones wants to sit and wait for Stipe, I get it too. That's a big money fight.
Yeah, which would be a waste, because I think the Aspinall fight would be an even bigger money fight. Because again, Stipe what has Stipe done lately?
That's true. The last time we saw Stipe, he was getting damn near decapitated.
So.
And Aspinall is red hot right now. So, yeah, I'm with you.
That fight happens now, it's going to do great. Great. Now, the main event. Now, this goes to, speaking of John Jones, Dominic Reyes, in my personal opinion, is probably the only fighter that actually beat John Jones in a fight.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Leon Edwards lost last night, if folks don't know, by decision. Do you think? Do you think Bilal Muhammad deserved the belt.
No, again, that's another one of those. He wasn't convincing enough. So no.
And you know my stance. I can't, even though I'm not a fan of Leon, I can't change it now. To beat the champ, you got to beat the champ. If it's going to be a decision, it needs to be decisive, and that wasn't. So
no,
that's
exactly what I meant.
I don't think he should have lost. And you know what? Something too. Weren't they in London or they were in England? That's like a poison pill, bro. Like anytime a champ fights at home, they're setting you up to either get knocked the fuck out or lose. Like it seems to be like when champs are like fighting in their backyard with their whole home crowd behind them, they either get obliterated or they fucking lose on some bullshit. No, and that's what's also shocking too, that he lost.
Not focused enough because you know when you go far away, you ain't got nothing to do but think about that fight. When you're at home,
yeah, there's a lot of distractions.
I agree with you. You know, if you're gonna get the belt, you need to beat the champ.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna score the fight, Muhammad did outscore him, if you will. It was more active. Visually to the judges, it's going to look better. I mean,
back to scoring though. Back to scoring. If that's not one judge. If it was clear cut, one.
You know, like, and British fighters have this tendency, like they got hands that they have, and you know, Leon Edwards, his takedown defense, you know, is pretty good, but for the most part, those guys can't stay on their feet when they're fighting wrestlers or grapplers. So, like, you know. You know what these judges are scoring. Why are you letting them take you down? Or why haven't you figured out a way to time a knee or an uppercut when they're shooting? Because if you watch the fight, Bilal Muhammad was like tapping him up top, and you knew when he was about to make the level change. Because even DC was calling it during the fight, like, oh, he's about to level change. He knew.
And Leon's not a rookie. He should know at this point.
You're the champ.
Yeah, exactly.
You know people. You know people are going to try to take you down. Like, really, dude?
Yeah.
Really? But hey, congratulations to Muhammad. You know,
and you know, to Rick's point about the judges, like I feel like that might be the one thing with the UFC. If you had like a gripe, is like how they score and what the criteria is, because it feels like it changes from fight to fight, from minute to minute. You know what I mean? So like. But like you said, if you're just going to score it straight off just watching the fight, then yeah, he probably did do enough. But me as a person, like if I'm the champ or I'm defending the belt, like I feel like you got to take that shit from me. You know,
knock me out, choke me out, put me to sleep. You know, do something. You know, again, congratulations to Muhammad. I want to take these last 2 minutes just so that we don't have to address this in another episode, but I have completed season 3 of Sweet Home. I remember how disrespectful you guys were for season 2.
So how much did you love it?
How much did I love it?
Yes.
It gets 3 out of 5 blunts from me, and the only reason why I won't give it more is because the season finale I was kind of on the fence with. Now I will say season 2 was trash, because it wasn't really a continuation of the first season. They took certain parts from the first season, but kind of switched it up in the second season. Now, the third season was actually a continuation, but a better one than the second season. But again, the season finale, you know, I thought the season finale was like to conclude all this, but the season finale kind of left things open a little bit. So I don't know, but they did a way better job in this one. So again, it gets 3 out of 5 blunts from me. I know you know you guys don't need to watch it because you guys are disrespectful bastards.
Wow.
Hey, there's one thing. I'm not gonna spoil anything and say anything. I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine last night.
How was that?
I would give that 5 out of 5 blunts. To me, really? I think again, no spoilers. I think it's the best of the Deadpool movies. It's one of Marvel's best projects in a while.
Really?
And I know there's going to be a lot of talk about the cameos because that's what the consensus has been.
That's what it was.
These aren't really cameos. They're more like a part of the story. And I won't say who's who, what's what. One person that came out, I literally made a noise. I was like, oh shit, in the theater. because I didn't know what was about to happen. I saw this person and I was like, oh wow, oh shit, okay, that's cool.
It wasn't Tony Stark coming out in a Doctor Doom outfit, was it?
We'll talk about that.
We'll have to revisit that. We'll have to revisit that. I don't know how I feel. Robert Downey's awesome.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, Sweet Home is on Netflix. 3 seasons in. Check it out if you want to. First season was good. Second season, trash. Third season, pretty all right. So certainly check it out. But hey, that's all the time we have, folks. If you guys are looking for any artwork, please feel free to check my nephew Nate out. His information is in our description box.
Yes, sir.
Please like, subscribe, share,
comment.
We appreciate those, you know. Definitely appreciate those.
We need those.
Yeah, so signing off. I am Al, joined by my brothers Marcus and Rick. Peace.
Later.